Alright, for today's vlog, finish this up. Oh, this is an IR sensor here, LCD screen, and then it's RGB LED. How this works is basically 3 buttons activate thing. So there's one, it's jingle bells. It plays the notes there. I could have done a bit more, but I just want to get this project over with. I've been working on it for 20 days, I think. And yeah. Whenever the notes plays, the red one is on, green one's off, and here's the rest. Green one's on. And this changes states every time it plays a note. I could have been a little bit more, flashy with the LEDs and stuff, but bro, what was this? I think the hardest part was figuring out Millie's. I think that took like 10 days. The other ones were just like implementation. Timing with the Arduino timers, like internal clocks or something. They were using the same resources, so it was just like I just had to search someone up, ask AI as well. And yeah, I genuinely learned a lot, especially about the data, like with the timers, and the Millie's function is something that is crazy nice. And sometimes you get some infrared interference, which is why it's turned off. But oh yeah, just sometimes it just gets a bunch of infrared. You can interrupt the power of Millie's. I can interrupt. A little bit late for the Christmas thing, didn't finish it in time. But the important thing is I learned how to use certain things. The hardest part was timing the buzzer and the Millies. These are just like flashy little, these are just flashy things. This could have been substituted with a button. I just had the idea of doing this for my final project for my class, but I never ended up doing it. We used buttons, but this basically just makes it so I'm only using one output, or only using one pin there, and kind of save some space. And it's also pretty cool. You can just like, you don't have to. And you can add, I think, it's very editable, so you can add any song in here. The only thing we have to change is the notes, and you can even add it as a channel. Like, you just need to find the hexadecimal value of whatever 4 outputs into the system, and you'd be able to change. You'd be able to add notes for that switch case, I guess, and then 5 for or 4. What was I gonna say? Forgot. Oh, you just be able to find the hexadecimal value of this, and then you would need to change the notes and the duration of the notes, like specify if it's a quarter note or a full note, 8 notes. I'm just gonna show you the process here. So right now this is the final thing. It could be a little bit more cleaner, especially here. I just had to switch stuff around because of let's turn this off. Because of like something about how, like, I just learned that those like tildes, I think, are analog things, which was how I was able to use analog right, and realized that analog, or the RGB LED, uses the same timer as 1 and 2. So I think I could change it back to digital without any like I didn't have to do this, because the reason I was putting it analog, because analog right makes it so it's able to flash different colors, but as you can see here, it only was able to flash the 3 colors. That's because if I tried to change the values, I think it would start using the timer used by the LCD screen as well as the IR sensor. Here I had to explicitly state for the IR sensor or the IR to use timer 1, since the buzzer, I'm not sure it was a buzzer. The buzzer was using time. I forgot. But yeah, there's a bunch of conflicts, so that's something I need to note for future projects. Here we have that, and then yeah. The most difficult part was learning millis. The other ones were just like kind of learning the new code, just implementing that. And here's my timeline. So it's today, last thing. There was some hiccups, like here I had a 5-day, wish I didn't do anything with it. I got sick, made some excuse. And then here, I think I went on a road trip. I couldn't work on it. I could have, but you know. And yeah, had a lot of help from like trying to learn millis, like step by step, instead of just copy pasting code from like AI. I had him like tell me like what kind of mini projects to build up to in order to get to where I am now. And that's how I was able to like have the interfering things or whatever. And yeah, also had a bunch of different, hold on, show you this. Where is it? Arduino. I had a bunch of different versions of the code. Where is this? Hold on, let me find it. Alright, here it is. I had a bunch of different versions. I also had some versions in between. The final I had like 7 and 8. 7 was learning LCD screens, and 8 was debugging or adding the different lights, because I only had one light in the beginning, which is why it's called Project Red Nose. It was just one red LED. And then I added that, and then the LCD screen. And then the last one was Sprint 8, which was debugging the rhythms, because it would all sound the same. Like as you heard here, let's see. You see how, like dun dun dun, like it would have different, it would have different lengths. I had to change that. I had to change code for that to work, because in the beginning it was just the same. It was like da 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 da. No, it wouldn't have those different lengths. It would just have the same lengths, so you wouldn't even recognize this music. So yeah, that, and then also had different Tinkercads, because I didn't wanna, if I messed up, I didn't wanna do the things over again. So I had this. I think the beginning was button sounds. As you can see, it was just this, and then practicing with IR sensor. This was when I started adding the things, or the LCD screen, the LCDs, after the visual debugging, and then this is after this is the final thing I have on my resume. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Very happy about the project. There's so much more I could add. I could add like this, especially the LCD screen. I could add so much more at Christmas time, or maybe for next Christmas. Not sure if, I don't know how would I do live countdown. And then IR sensors, okay. The light show is pretty nice. I could add more channels and use that. Oh, the IR, for the IR sensor, I could have like volume increases. I'm not sure if that's possible. Being able to use this as like a TV, like pick options before I even start. And then, oh yeah, instead of like, I'd have different options for picking a song, so I'd be able to either press 1, 2, 3 or pick a channel right here, or have a way to like use this up and down, to instead of pressing this, it'll just go to the next channel 3, maybe adding more songs, better lights patterns, maybe like a whole pattern of lights, which should require another breadboard. But there's so many possibilities, and I just want to move on to something else. I could probably revisit this in the future. I have all the documentation, could relearn Millies, but for right now I think it was a good chapter to close for the Project Red Nose. I think I'll call this Project Red Nose version 1, because the original goal was to add an LCD screen IR sensor and use Millies to be able to interrupt for my Primal project, and I did that. Even added a few like extra things like the light show, as well as the different rhythms, or the different making it sound better. And there's just so many possibilities, so I guess it's better if I just call this Project Red Nose version 1 status. And I guess I could add all the ideas I have. I was planning on doing it tomorrow, but I ended up doing it today. And yeah, very nice. It's gonna be it for this one. That's a close on Project Red Nose. Finished it a day early because I was planning on doing this tomorrow, the physical, but yeah, I guess the only other thing I need to do is create what's it called? Ideas for future versions. And that'll be a wrap. Merry Christmas.